So actually, you're getting 2 in 1 with that one price. And that's the reason why clients are willing to pay us.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say there definitely is mistakes that I made. Yeah. That's why I learned from this, right? And I just thank God that every time the consequence is not very bad.
Are you allowed to share how much per unique video price?
Our video price.
Yeah.
Our video price is, I can just say that it's usually let me think if I should say it.
Hello listeners, welcome to the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon podcast. And we talk to business leaders in Asia, and today we have none other than Mr. Money TV with us. And before we started the interview, actually I was mind blown already. He talked about his results, he talks about the different channels, we brainstorm about the creators in Singapore. But nonetheless, if you are on YouTube in Malaysia, probably you've seen his face. And even I've seen, even the scammers use his face for ads.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I've been complaining to Meta many times.
A lot of scammers use his face for ads. So if you follow the Mr. Money TV channel, we just talk about relevance and also building relationship with people. So he's a relationship builder. I know him for many years since he was a one-man show back in Common Ground, the co-working space, and he was carrying his gear around, and then he was creating video. And that time, I think he was not even doing he was doing YouTube, but he was focused on Facebook at that time. He was doing a lot of things on Facebook and then YouTube also, by the way.
YouTube was a main thing.
Main thing. And then, but a lot of things on Facebook. And then, and after many years past the pandemic, we got stay in touch. And then now today, 170 over 1,000 subscribers. And he also has another channel called Are We Okay with our previous guest, Ong Keng Ming, and he talks about politics, and I am a big fan of his work because he's grown, and he's just not a content creator. That's why I want to talk to him today, because he's actually a very smart business entrepreneur. So Peter, welcome.
The smart part I don't know.
So Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob, for having me on the show. Yeah. So firstly, if you ever see any brands that says that they are Mr. Money and they ask you for money online, you can be almost rest assured that it's a scam, since that you mentioned it.
So talk about fun thing first. So the first photo I want to bring up, so Elton will put in the video later, is actually a topless photo of Peter. So it's topless. And actually, I also found the exact photo of Frankie, your other content creator here also, in holding a fish. So this is Peter topless. So actually, I also love fish. I study fish also. So actually, what is this fish and what was this about?
Right. So this was a bachelor party. Oh. Yeah. So the time we were still before I got married. Frankie was about to get married. Then we had a bachelor party in Bangkok, and we went fishing. So that's why you see both of us holding fish, because he also caught his fish. Yeah, so it's a giant catfish. I think it was like Mekong or something like that one. Yeah, so anyway, we used to like to go fishing with friends.
Oh, so this is at the Mekong catfish?
Yes, yeah. And for those of you who don't know who's Frankie actually has a podcast, a show under our network, the Mr. Money TV's network itself.
FAQ show.
Yeah, it's called the FAQ show. Yeah, so he's one of the business partners here.
Yeah, I was just talking to him. I also follow his show. I was just outside. I saw his monitor, got this stocks, this overview of the world's markets and stocks. He was telling me about it. Later, maybe I go and see. We show a video about that also. And do you fish nowadays?
No, I don't. Yeah, nowadays I golf a lot more, and I do jiu-jitsu.
Take too much time already fishing.
Yeah, gotta travel outside, get a boat and stuff like that.
Oh, but cool. Golf and jiu-jitsu. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you work out every week. And I know that you told me this, if I don't work out, right, then I'll be unhappy one. So how do you balance that? Do you schedule out time to go golf during your weekdays, or what do you do?
Yes, that's what I do. So usually I'll try to put in about like 3 to 4 sessions of exercise every week. Either it's a golfing, jiu-jitsu, or either like just normal gym. Yeah, so at least also minimally 2 lah. 1 golf day, 1 jiu-jitsu day lah. Yeah. So I've stopped jiu-jitsu for quite a while. Only recently I started picking it up again. Yeah, because as you get older, you actually need more exercise to keep yourself healthy. and also it keeps your mind fresh because I think these days running a business, you need to make very fast decision. You need to be able to deal with a lot of mental stress. So I think for me, sports is one of the best way to actually have the outlet to actually release all the tension, and then after that, kind of reset my clock.
Yeah, I was just here and you had like a emergency meeting just now also. So
Yes.
I imagine a lot of stress. You need to respond to a lot of messages, right? So when you go for golf, you shut off or you're there checking messages?
I shut off.
Shut off.
Yeah, so when it's my sports time, that's the time that I don't feel bad shutting off, and naturally sleeping time. And sometimes with my family also, I try my very best to shut off. Yeah, but your phone is with you, right? But if let's say you're talking about like sports, your phone is not with you. Yeah, you're just really focusing on what you need to do.
So on the golf course, you don't bring your phone?
Yeah, I don't carry my phone. It's in a buggy cart. Yeah, or either in another separate bag.
Yeah, you need your time off as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
For me, it's music lah. So I go for vocal lessons and things like that. So I need my music fix.
Nice.
Yeah. So like first photo, I want to bring out second photo lah. And this one is like a very old photo old video you have. This is a Renault, and you can see this. It's a Renault rental subscription. And this, when I first met you, I think you were doing videos in the car of this Renault car, and I think were first few sponsorships, right? So how did you get about this deal?
So this deal, I still recall, like you say, it was one of my first sponsorship. What happened was that Renault at the time launched their car subscription program, and their manager or something like that watched our show, and he thought, hey, why not let's try to work something out with Mr. Money. And I recall the time it was my first bigger project. Yeah, albeit it was a four digit job. Yeah, we gave them a number of videos. But it was truly significant to me because it was the first time that your client entrusts with you with a campaign in that sense. So we came up with the idea to say that like, hey, why not let's do a car interview itself, where as we drive, we talk to the passenger. Yeah, I mean nowadays it's quite a common idea already. But those days I recall it was like Jerry Seinfeld did that for his interview. Yeah.
Karaoke car and
then karaoke car. Yeah. So at the time Malaysia not so hang yet, but nowadays it's getting more popular.
Yeah, and your first few sponsorships was Renault, and then what else?
It was Renault was my first few sponsorship. Then subsequently it was all financial institution. Yeah, Kenanga was also one of my first few sponsor. Yeah, kudos to Kenanga for achieving so much as well over the years. Yeah, they have been very nice to us, especially in the early days. Yeah.
So when you got your first few sponsorships, today you got 170,000 subscribers. And at that time, I think you were much lesser. At the time, this Renault one was like 2019.
Yes, I recall when Renault time, we probably had like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So how do you pitch them? You pitch them views, or you pitch them content creation? What do you pitch them?
So as someone who actually was totally not from the media industry, I didn't kind of know what to pitch them. I just told them upfront that like this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna get some views, but I'm also not sure how many views. But yeah, if you think that there's a brand association that works out for you, then let's just do it. And they were okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good, very good. So like today we just jump straight into the meat lah. So your recent video with Simlink, this is something I look at. I look at video. Okay, the views very impressive, but I look at the links. Wow, I see the sponsorships down there. You got like Luno, M Plus Global, Mumu. So these are the sponsorships today. So like, how is it different today when you engage sponsorships?
Today is very different already. Definitely number one, the price of our video has changed significantly over the years. Number two, usually these days we try to work on client with a larger campaign. Yeah, instead of just a single video, we try to work something that's much more long-term partnership with longevity. And because right now under Mr. Money itself, Mr. Money is actually owned by the main holding that we actually own. It's called Finlit, right? So under Finlit, we have multiple brands. So Mr. Money is just one of the brand. Then we have FAQ Show. We have Are We Okay, who's about politics and policies. The Coffee Break is one of the brands that we are about to merge with. Yeah, and then we are also starting a few more other brands that has to do with like say property. yeah, and other topics as well. So the whole point of our business right now is actually to be a network of channel owners. But unlike what they call a multi-network channel, which they actually manages other people's brand, for us it's about building in-house brand. Yeah, or either brands who ultimately wants to be owned by us, their IP owned by us. So those are part and parcel of how we actually build this business. So nowadays when we work with a brand, we don't just have Mr. Money. We'll like propose the whole thing and like, okay, so if let's say what you want to do is to reach out to a certain target audience, okay, these are the content flow that you should go about from different brands.
When I met you at Podfest, the thing that you said was you call yourself like the media network. That's what the word I like. You said you're not just one channel, you're a media network. You're like the media, like how you describe it is you say, I'm the media prima of YouTube sort of thing. And you now have coffee break, you have FAQ show, you have Are We Okay inside there. So is it the mission you're growing many brands under this network?
Yes. So because ultimately, there's two ways that you can go about this. Either you become a content creator, which is fully under yourself. But let's be honest, how long can you do that, right? And number two is that being a content creator alone is scalable to a certain extent, but not very much as well. Like, I mean, if you think about it, someone like Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast is fantastic, creating great content and a lot of views, right?
Larger and larger content, 30 million one video.
Yes, a lot of money just for one video, right? Fantastic. Then he came up with other car business like Mr. Beast Burger, and so on. But even if you look at the overall content scene, you will find that probably a particular brand will last for, say, 3 to 5 years, 10 years, somewhere around there. So what's after Mr. Beast? Yeah, so that's that question that always everyone wants to solve. So the way that he's building it is definitely to build Mr. Beast into a brand. Right, it's not Jimmy, if you actually notice. Yeah, it's about building a brand.
Yeah,
and how this brand can ultimately live beyond yourself.
Yeah,
I think that is the exact same concept that I'm going into. But definitely, I don't have the budget like him to go and do multi-million. He also started 10K, I know. But just slightly different direction because our content is very focused on a certain target group of people. Our content is not so much on having fun and everything. We are trying to make boring stuff fun, which is like finance, politics, policies, things that we believe can help to improve lives and transform living standards, but being conveyed in a more entertaining manner. So that is where we sit at. So therefore, the only way to actually do that is actually by creating multiple brands, in our opinion, that kind of conveys the same message.
So just now when you said big campaign, right? What do you mean by big campaign?
Big campaign as in like, it will be a campaign where it involves multi-channel, and the overall content distribution is wider and definitely budget bigger lah.
So before we started the interview, I was mind blown already because you told me about the results you can get. So do you go in and tell the clients about your results?
Yes, we do, because that's our selling point. So basically for us, so far when it comes to the financial field, if all things are right, generally we are able to do a very strong conversion for our client. Definitely this comes with a bunch of other things, depending on, I mean, if let's say the client doesn't have a full online conversion tool, right? Then, I mean, no matter how good my videos are, I can't give you anything. I can give you link clicks, right? So they themselves also need to be prepared. So usually when we go in and we deal with client, that time we are very focused on result. We tell them two things. Number one, brand association. Number two, results. So these are the two main things that we focus a lot.
So you don't sell them one video anymore, you sell them a campaign, or how do you?
I sell them a campaign together with, so the campaign comes together with both results and the unit of videos and content.
Results. So you promise results?
Depending. Yeah. So if you promise result, naturally a budget is bigger. Yeah. So it depends on what they want.
So can you share, maybe if you want to name the brand, it's up to you. Can you share some of the results you achieved?
Okay. So, like for example, there was a particular brand that wanted us to convert 500 people. 500 people register their account. So what we did is that we created a whole funnel. So what we're doing is actually we are using organic content to create a funnel for sales. Yeah, that's basically what we do. Then when we place it out, just leave it there for say 2 months, less than 2 months, 2 months like that, or 1.5 months, I can't remember, right? Basically we count him 500
users.
Yeah, users, and we are talking about verified users with money deposited, not
So this
just
was,
registered.
Not naming the platform, investment platform, right?
It's investment platform.
And each user deposited a good amount of money inside?
Yes, 4 figures.
4 figures.
Yeah.
So how many again?
500.
500.
Yeah, and still trickling today lah.
I remember it was around 4 figures. 4 figures investment, 500.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
Yes. Yeah. So usually, because of that, a lot of financial brands are willing to work with us. Certainly, everything has to come hand in hand, right? If their products suck, it's not gonna happen. Their product also has to be good. Yeah. Actually, this is something that I always tell our clients as well. Don't see us as we are not a solution to your problem in terms of if your product is suck. If your product is good, we are a good place for you to get the word out, to market it, and to enhance your whole marketing. But if let's say your product is bad, I would suggest you go and work on your product first. Yeah. If not, you're wasting money with us. Yeah. So that's something that I also will go and tell my client. Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing like it's very performance-based sort of content creator. Normally, content creators will pitch or how many views you get all this association.
So it depends on you see you can go and tell a client result, right? Some client will be quite like with you ultimately and say, hey, yeah, I got the conversion, but my view's not great. Then we'll tell them like, bro, if you're conversion based, right, naturally you're looking at in-market customer. If you're looking at in-market customer, the topic is so specific usually. Naturally, there won't be that much of reach. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, reach-based content will not lead to conversion. So you have to understand how it works, right? Yeah. So here's where like sometimes client management is another different game altogether.
Okay, so for corporate brands, right? So how do you help corporate brands that are not like looking for subscriptions or new users?
So for companies that are not looking for subscription or new users, usually they'll be looking at branding. Yeah. If we are looking at branding or just awareness, then we have a different kind of content for you as well. Yeah. So that's where usually the per unit video price or per unit posting price becomes much more prominent. Yeah.
Are you allowed to share how much per unit video price?
Our video price.
Yeah.
Our video price is I can just say that it's usually let me think if I should say.
rough figure.
Usually 40 over 1,000 and above lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's a full YouTube video lah, obviously.
Of course.
But we also depend. Like for example, this is one thing that we like. If it's a very small business, startups, sometimes when they need help, we actually will just do it at a very discounted price. Yeah, to help them up. Yeah, but don't take advantage of that lah. Yeah, everyone's trying to make money from business. So
have you sort of like help like organizations or NGOs, like collaborations, things like that also without charging?
I don't recall recently, but last time got. Yeah, not so much an NGO or something like that. They didn't really come to us. Yeah. I mean, we self-promote just for fun, got lah. But like, if you say, did anyone actually come to us and say, hey, Peter, can you actually do a video for us for free because we are non-profit? No, not yet. No one actually came to approach us for that.
Okay.
Yeah. University asked for sponsorship. Sometimes we do give lah. Yeah. I think the one that I do free a lot is university. When they ask me to go and do speaking engagement, I'm always very open to go and do it for free sometimes if they do not have the budget. But depend on my timing law. Like free, they don't. Yeah, then like don't ask for too much. If they start telling me like, oh, I need you to do X amount of posting, I'll be like, hey, bro, I'm doing it for free. If I can do that, I do lah. I cannot do that, I don't do lah. But universities and for charitable purposes, I usually don't mind just helping out if I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So you also get paid for speaking nowadays?
Yes.
Oh, that's very good. A lot of people don't do that. Speakers also don't do that yet.
Oh,
yeah.
I charge for speaking.
Wow, very good, very good. Yeah, a lot of money conversation because it's Mr. Money. So I have to ask about money conversations.
Yeah, this is what I think, right? Ultimately, the truth is that if you sell yourself cheap, people will take you cheap. I mean, you think about it, why do you love LV? If LV was $5, would you want to buy LV? You never want to buy LV. Yeah. The only reason you want to buy Rolex is because it's hard to get. It's expensive. Yeah. People are like that. People will appreciate things when there is a sacrifice that they need to make to get it. But when they get it for free, people take it for granted. So I can tell you, right, one of the reasons why I calculate price with my clients, I'll tell them upfront that this is my price and everything, all right, is because there were times that I give people for free and I give them very cheap. And I can tell you 9 out of the 10 times when I do things for people at a discounted price, they are my worst clients ever. And I give them the value so much more than I give like other people sometimes, just because I thought it's a gesture of kindness to do it. But I can tell you 9 out of 10 times, people will take it as, after a while, they will say, that's the reason why you made discount, because you suck. Yeah. Or either they will ask for even more and then they'll take it for granted. Yeah. It's a... Instead, my client, I do the exact same thing of my client who pay me double the amount, right? And those that they're paying so much, they appreciate your work so much more. Do you know that? Yeah, and they're more willing to sit down and listen to your opinion. Maybe because they paid it, that's why they listen to your opinion, you know? Like those, they pay very little, right? They feel like, cheap one, no need to listen to your opinion. Yeah. And then when they screw up with their own plan, they'll come blame you. So, in my opinion, if ever you're doing a content, if you're doing media marketing or whatnot, or whatever service that you're doing, right? This is my opinion, okay? Charge what you're worth. Charge up to your value. Do not ever shortchange yourself. You may think that by shortchanging yourself, you can gain business, but I can tell you one thing, you are actually going to kill yourself. Now, on the other hand, I'm not saying that if you do not have that value, you go and simply charge people. You need to make sure you have that value. Like why I dare to charge my price, right, is because my numbers. I know I can convert. Hey, conversion alone, you know, we are not even talking about brand association. Conversion alone, I can give you the numbers already. Brand association is a whole different thing, you know. So actually, you're getting 2 in 1 with that one price. And that's the reason why clients are willing to pay us.
Wow.
Yeah. So you need to know your value and where are you giving a discount. So I get very... That's why sometimes, right, like when people ask, like, hey, why do you want to charge? Why do you charge 10K for speaking or 12K for speaking? Or like other kind of things, right? Yeah. Actually, my speaking rate is 15 anyway.
Okay.
Just to let you know. Right.
If you want to engage, 15.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing is that charge to your value. Never ever shortchange yourself. Yeah. It's a hard decision to make, but don't shortchange yourself.
So this channel is a relatively new channel. I started last year. Actually, last month was our 1 year anniversary. Right now we're about 1,006 subscribers. So we still do a lot of things for free. Like right now we do a lot, like, you know, we shoot at some corporations for free now. And that is, for now, our strategy. Do you also used to do that?
Yeah. I used to do that. Yeah. You got no value to talk about until you can prove it, right? Yeah. So you need an avenue for you to prove it.
Yeah. So right now, what would you do if you were like now we are 1,006 subscribers and we are trying to grow, and I've linked in. That's our unfair advantage in a way. But we are trying to grow, and our subscribers are growing quite consistently now, about 200 plus per week. So like for a new channel, what will you do? Will you also do all the free stuff, or what will you try? How will you do it differently? You know, if you were to go back when you were 1,000 over subscribers.
So as usual, that's what I do. I will always charge a price, but I'll tell my clients upfront that, look, if once you see the result, I need to tell you that this is the real value. Yeah. But now maybe I don't have that way to prove it to you yet. So I'm willing to charge a lower price first. I'll get it done. Then After we get it done, then we'll have a conversation again.
Mm.
That's what I did. Yeah, and that's what I do.
Slowly amp it up as you get more
Even
results.
until today, I do the exact same thing.
Mm.
Yeah, until today, I do the exact same thing.
So you will do first, get the results, and then have a different
but these
conversation.
days less, because most of the things that I need to prove is already proven, right? It is those areas that maybe I'm trying to enter into new business or something like that. Then those kind of strategies will come in. And I think this is a very common strategy that everyone use, right? Do it for free first, or either do it at a lower price first.
Wow, that is so cool. So the next question I want to ask is this. So I really look through all the links, and I'm very impressed by links. So the other thing I look at is the amount of referrals links in there. So I know that this one also is a good revenue source for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Depending on which company.
Which company? It does also get a lot of like you say results as well.
They get the results. There are some companies who can be very cutthroat as well. I can tell you that. Yeah. So you need to know who are you dealing with and how does it go.
Because a lot of creators starting out, they say, okay, I cannot get any sponsorship, so I might as well do referrals. Like they do like all the Amazon referrals, all this,
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. It's just that I think you want to be careful about one thing. Sometimes brand will come to you and they will tell you like, hey, why don't you do this thing for me for free? Because you can also get exposure for yourself, that kind of thing, right? Don't listen to that too much. Yeah. In my opinion, I'll be honest, in my opinion, there's a reason why people come to you. Why is it not you are the one going to them and say, let me promote you for you? Why are they coming to you and then ask you, why not you do it for me for free so that I can promote you? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. It's like me going into a restaurant and I tell the chef, why don't you let me eat a meal for free so that I can take a picture and post up on my social media? Right? We have heard of cases like that that social influencer does. Brands also do the same thing. They'll come to you. Why don't you talk about my product so I can promote you? Yeah. So if you ask me, if you don't want influencers to do that to you, you don't do that to influencers. You don't do that to businesses generally. Yeah.
That's very good. So like I was at the Podfest and then you were at the at this panel was the one of the panel that I most enjoyed. It was the first panel session. So this is the one where we talk about the media networks, explore. Then you have financial advice and the studios also, core studios inside there also. Yeah. So you said there are other better ways to earn money. So what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that if you want to just start a podcast and then you want to make money from it, you think about it, in Malaysia at this point right now, the podcast world sponsorship is still very slow. Right? And when it comes to looking for sponsorship, there's a lot of business involved and this and that. So if you really are just looking for money, honestly, maybe doing TikTok is better. Maybe doing other form of content is better. Yeah. Number two, if you're just looking for money, again, like I say, right, me getting a job is better also. Like it's a whole different ball game. It's really a whole different ball game. Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed in the session that you mentioned also is that sort of like the same niche, financial finance in the same niche as you, but different language, of course. And he mentioned a lot of things that you help him with. Am I right? Like giving him like strategic advice and things like that.
I suppose so. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say stuff, but he managed to make it on his own because action is all his
Yeah. It's about like you can receive all the advice, but taking the
he's amazing in that sense. Like whenever we have a discussion where I share certain things, he's one of those guys who very quickly put it into action.
Yeah, that's very admirable. And actually offline we talk about a lot of things, and I would say like since I met you in 2019, now it's been almost like 5 years already.
Oh yeah.
And now you have outside how many people working for you here?
Now we have about in total about 10 people. Yeah. I think that's not including the owners. Yeah, there's 4 of us who are owners, so it's 14. Yeah, by next month we should have another 2 or 3 more.
And what has been the biggest challenge for you so far?
I think when it comes to building a business, the biggest challenge is to focus on what's important. Yeah. Now, definitely, if you're talking about managing a business, if let's say you have never managed business before, I think the first thing is that you need to have the ability to be able to communicate. I think there are a lot of business owners or people who just start a business, especially people who start from as a single person, right? What happens is that because you know what you want, and when you're building it, the time you're very clear. Then when you hire someone, right, you always feel that like, why the person don't know what needs to be done. So the first thing is that the person don't know what needs to be done is because you don't communicate it clear enough. You are clear because it's your business. You know exactly what you want. The fella don't know what you want. You need to learn how to communicate to the fella. That's the number one thing. Then number two thing is how to balance between treating your staff well versus retaining your profits. Yeah, I think that is a decision that I know a lot of people don't like to talk about, and they like to just believe that they are doing it well. But I think that it's very important to go down to the detail and be accountable for this responsibility as an employer. Like for us, being a financial company, not as in financial institution, but as in a financial media company that focuses on education, we always make sure that we can pay our staff fairly. Yeah. So the first thing I did, right, during COVID time, I still remember, I actually went down to my staff and I asked them, the time we were 3, can you save money with this income? Yeah, and some of them said no. And what we did is that we adjusted the salary accordingly there so that they can save. And now you may be thinking to yourself, like when you ask your staff this kind of question, hey, if the fella very porous one, simply spend, cannot save, then takkan every time increase just for that, right? Then it will be unlimited, right? Yeah. So you don't do that also. You need to know why your staff is not spending. So I actually literally had the discussion with them. Like, if your budget is like that, it would work. And plus this, then you can have saving, right? These are normal standard of living in PJ or KL area. So, okay, that's how we decided that this is the base pay for fresh grad. Yeah. To ensure that your money is safe. But if let's say you go and spend it, because you go and drink every week, that's your problem. Nothing to do with me. But at least we know that the salary you give is a fair pay. Yeah. So why do you want to do it is because when the staff is happy working, they're more willing to give you their best. And all the more reason that your company could do better. Because especially in the early stage of a company growing, you need the people to be very involved. You need the talents to do their part and do it well and go above and beyond. Yeah. So that is another challenge that comes in. And one more challenge I would say is to learn to balance between trust, which we spoke about just now. I think in my early days, I tend to trust people very easily. Yeah, because when you're small, you always think to yourself that, hey, I have nothing to offer people, right? So if people were to help me or people were to offer me anything, I would just give it for free or do it. Or for example, people ask you to do things for free, you do for free. That's part of it. Number two, also when someone comes in and say, hey, I want to be a part of your business, then you maybe simply give people your shares, this and that kind of thing, right? So last time I would just think that because we are small, we need to give people the opportunity first. But as you go bigger, you need to learn to pull back on that, because when your team is bigger, your one decision can affect everyone. Yeah. And so you want to be very careful with who you let in the door of your company. This is real one. Like, I think one of the most important thing is to protect the culture of your company. So be very careful about who you let in the door, who you partner with and everything all. Yeah. And because if let's say that screws up, right, it doesn't kill you alone as the business owner, it kills your rest of the staff. Your rest of the staff get demotivated as well. Your team gets demotivated together. Then you need to spend time to remotivate people. That is provided that you're not burned too bad. Yeah. So you need to be able to draw that line and trust your gut feel and say, okay, am I going to pursue opportunity or not? Yeah.
And any mistakes that you make so far that you wish we'd done differently?
So I would say there definitely is mistakes that I made. Yeah. That's why I learned from this, right? And I just thank God that every time the consequence is not very bad. Now, usually, like for example, when the first time when I made this mistake was when someone came in and said that I want to partner with you. I think I have a better content and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay lah. If you think you have better content, you can do it better. Why not? Let's try something together. So we started running a few couple of shows together. We started generating quite some revenue from there. Then this person started telling me that, oh, actually I think I should own a significant amount of that. Okay. I'm willing to give you like 60% instead of me. But actually, I bring in 90% of the sales. But I give them 60%, right? Because they say they're better. And in my thought is, eventually one day I want you to hate this whole thing, right? So that's my thought, right? But when you treat people like that, then after a while, they started calculating again. Like, hey, why is it like that? Then you're like, okay, never mind, so what you want? Then the person say, hey, I want to be a part of your company as a whole. Then you go like, okay, so if you want to be a part of this company, fine, then let's make it official, but what's the share that you want? That person wants 80%. Yeah. So, luckily, like for me, it's like when these kind of things happen, then I will like, wow, it's a little bit too much, then I'll snap out of it. Yeah. Imagine I'm willing to give you 40% already, Yeah. So you want 80, and 90% come from me. So, okay, never mind. Then we'll just break the partnership and don't work, right? But it demotivated the people because there were a lot of things that you need to hand over from there, and then you need to people and questions and so on that people ask. As a leader, you also feel bad that you made a bad decision, because what if the person would have just said yes to the 40, right? I was very lucky that they did not say yes to the 40 and they wanted 80. Yeah. So, if not, I would have been in trouble today, So there were also episodes where like people come and then talk until they're very big, very king, and then they want to come and help you. And again, these kind of things, right, just happens. So my personal thought is that, number one, don't go and simply trust people. See first, wait first. Because if people really, really want to work with you, they won't talk about money. I can tell you almost 9 out of 10 times, the people who end up staying here and then become our partner, really partner, as in they own part of our business, right? They have never talked to me about money from the beginning. It was all about, I believe in this thing, let's get it done. And after a year, then only that discussion start coming in. Definitely in the early days, there are discussion. Like, for example, yes, I wish to be a part of it. I wish to have some ownership or what. There's certain expectations but what's the number? Is an empty check. Yeah. Then let me prove to you my value. Then let's talk from there. Right? Because as they do the work, they have to trust that you are fair. That you will see their effort and give. Definitely on their end also, they could actually think about it this way. Like, how can I trust that if I give, you will really see my effort fairly and compensate me rightly later, right? Yeah. So I would say that earlier days, I will always tell people like, oh, okay, since the fact that you're coming here, I should agree a certain percentage given to you or to give you some things first, right? Now, yes, we can say that. However, you also have to ask yourself this question, right? When people come and they can't even trust that you can be fair, do you think you can work together? Right? You think about it, right? If the person come and work with you, he can't even trust that you're fair. Are you sure you can be business partner or not? Chances are it won't work out. And so far in my experience, it has never worked out. I'm not talking about if someone want to hire you as a CEO and you're talking about ESOS. That's a different story. If you're talking about salary plus an ESOS, that should be clear cut from the start. I'm talking about people who say, I want to invest, I want to be a part of this. Yeah. So that is the thing that taught me a lot.
Yeah. So like today I talked to CK and Frankie. They are the people that you were mentioning that really wanted to be part of this from day one, and then they really invested a lot without looking at the money side, and now they are the bosses also
Yeah. So they CK became a co-founder of the company in the early days when I just first started, right? Came in every day to help me. Then I was like, I can't pay you, right? Why not you be a co-founder? Yeah, and that's also later part, right? And his name wasn't even in the SSM for 2 years, There was no official registration, no nothing. he just had to trust me for my word.
With Frankie also?
Frankie also came here and worked for about close to a year before his name was even in. Yeah. There were conversation already. There's an expectation of what's the range, but it's a range. Yeah. So when we start, it's like, okay, let's see whether I can contribute first. So he started coming in, contributing. Then after that, as he contributed, like, okay, we kind of see like what you can do. Okay, so he's like, okay, this is my base. Minimally, anything lesser than this, you are not prepared to do this for me. I don't think this can go on. Fair. Right? Anything more than this, let's talk later. Okay, that's as far as the conversation go. Then we just continue working for another half a year. Then in between there, discuss. As we work, we agree on an amount, and then he's in the company.
Yeah. I must say I am very impressed, because from 5 years ago I met you, it's not like that one. You were that time more open, more trusting to people, and I think you had a lot of scars, battle scars. Now,
a lot of battle scars, man. A lot of battle scars.
That you are now more focused and more quick at decision making also.
Yes. It makes me realize why, like, sometimes when you look at certain business owners, they are very cold, they're very judgmental. Yeah, I think there's a reason why, because over the years they learn to trust their instinct, for the better or for worse lah. Yeah, but it will happen along the way. Yeah.
So today, part of your network also, going to be part of your network is a newsletter as well. So what do you see in this like newsletter business?
I think standard newsletter business is always a very lucrative one ultimately. Yeah, but the process of building it could be not money generating, even worse than a podcast in the early days, right? Especially. But what's attractive about it is that it gets your email. And I think one thing you have to understand is that how many of you are still using your kiddie email? I think many people are still using, right? Like what Ninja 123, that kind of dinosaur coconut at hotmail.com. You know? Yeah, so like only when you work, you change to something more professional. You may continue using it, you may not. But many people that I know, their email that they are using is still their high school level email, or either their university onwards email. So you can change phone number, everything, but that's something that people don't really change once they are used to it. Yeah. So that is your first, what we call first party data of people that are part of your business as a client or something like that. So email captures that. Yeah. And when it captures that, and when the person opens your email, means that there's a regular direct communication. It's kind of like you're visiting your friend's house on a daily basis. Yeah, so there's that relationship being built. Yeah, so that's why the email business is very, very interesting in that sense.
And also a bit more marketable, a bit more sellable also in a way. Yeah, so you have like open rates and click-through rates.
Yes, it doesn't require algorithm to push it to you. Yeah, compared to like any other platform, if you're talking about Facebook, you're talking about YouTube, you're talking about like Spotify or whatnot, it's all algorithm. It's today the algorithm is that, tomorrow the algorithm is different. You may not get your content in front of people. Like I'm sure that people watches this right now. You may watch one episode, you may not see the next episode. Same thing with people watches Mr. Money TV. Sometimes when I meet them, what they are seeing is still my old episodes. They don't see my latest episode. You know, some people don't even know Frankie exists. Yeah, because somehow they watch all my video, they have never seen Frankie because it was never served to them. Yeah, so you're depending on algorithm. But email business is a whole different game because it goes directly into someone's mailbox. There's no algorithm required. Yeah.
You want to shout out the newsletter?
Oh yeah, so the newsletter we have is called the Coffee Break. Yeah, the newsletter we have is called the Coffee Break. It's founded by Aaron and his gang. Yeah. So it is actually a daily newsletters news summary. So instead of like need to scroll through like 10 different newspaper or three newspaper with 10, 15, 20 minutes sitting down there and read, what they do is that they summarize everything into a 3-minute read, global and local news, and written in such a way that's quite entertaining, I would say. Yeah, with sometimes some sarcasm and funny way of presenting it. So people love it. The open rate is also very good, about 50%.
I open it every day.
You open it every day, yeah, me too, yeah. So it's about 50% open rate actually.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So it's that's a powerful part. And yeah, so subscribe to it and read it every day.
Elton, you subscribe already or not? Oh, Elton, please go and subscribe. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that is newsletters. I think is one very powerful thing. Like you said, is own media. It's sort of own media. Like you own the emails and it's under your control rather than the algorithm. Sort of. So the next part of the interview, I want to ask you more personal questions. So when I first know you, right, really, this is the advice you told me. Said, Bob, buy some cheap house, some common house. I really remember when I said, listen to Mr. Money. He said he buy some cheap house and rent it out, and that's where you collect rent, and that's where you earn money. And I think you own multiple properties, but at that time you own these like economic houses. I remember.
Yeah. So I used to buy like properties that are about 100, 200 over 1,000. Yeah. Then I'll rent it out.
And you made a profit from some of them, right?
So just to share with you, these are what we call the middle lower range houses. Yeah, it's not low cost. Low cost is about 40,000. Yeah, built by government. So I don't buy that because you are not supposed to buy that. What I'll do is that I'll buy those about 100 over 1,000 to 200,000. Yeah, and what I do is that I rent it out to people, and usually the rates that you can get back is a much better yield. I sold some of them. Some I'm still collecting rental from it until today. But these days are lesser with property.
Back when I know you as a very steady, frugal person. Right? Like you were questioning me like why should I buy latte that time? Now you why people buy latte? But anyway, I know that you can that time I'm not sure now, but that time you can live on very low means. And that's how you earn. And I think now you still live with your mom, I think.
Yeah.
And is there your principle in life to live?
No, actually, I believe that living life is about living it to fullest. And I have to say that I think I enjoy spending money. And this spending money is very, very important. Yeah, I don't think life is about saving too much and then look at a huge number in your bank account and then die with it. Yeah. So today, someone just texted me and asked me this question: do you think that this is good? Someone who actually earns a lot lesser but don't spend their money and now drive an old car, live with their parents, and by 40 years later they have millions of dollars to retire. But the other fella earning 100 over 1,000 but drives a nice car, lives a good life, go travel, everything. In the end, when he retire, got no money. Okay, so do you think that is good to live like that? So my answer to this person is that no, it's a balance. Don't be either. Yeah? Don't be either. Because you think about it. If you're going to live a life like crap like that, right? What's the point of living? Just so that you can retire? What are you going to get out of it? You can't even play football when you're 70 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to enjoy life, right? Now, why I'm more frugal today is because I used to spend like crazy. Back then I was an insurance agent, and insurance agent got no overhead, and I was earning quite well. So I used to drive BM. I used to travel to Europe every year. I will go, Europe is just one trip. I'll do another Asia trip. So it's always like one far, one near. I spend my money like crazy, okay? Yeah. And when I go trip, I bring people along with me, right? So it's baller life, right? Now, after that incident, after a while, I started a business. And when I started a business and when I got married, I realized that, cash is very tight. And that's why I got into debt. Yeah, when I got into debt, but luckily I was earning well. So within a short period, I was able to pay it back. It was still after about a year, right, that I paid it back. But what I want to say is that episode taught me to actually only spend on what's important. Only on what makes you happy. It started getting me to think about like driving a BMW. Did it really make me very happy? Not really. The first day you got a car, you feel very proud. Your friend look at you and say, oh wow, you drive a BM. Clap hand on, that's all. Then what? Does it make you a better person? No, it doesn't make you a better person. After that, because you're driving a BM, can you buy your friend drinks? Sometimes you think twice because your installment is there. Yeah. So all these are questions. But if I don't drive that car, my friend look at me like don't really care, but I buy them a drink $1,000, I'm very comfortable. that makes me feel happier actually, because I'm more proud of myself, right? Yeah. So it doesn't sound like very frugal, right now, but so it's about justifying what makes you happy. And for me is ultimately I came to a point to realize that what makes me happy is to spend money on, number one, sports. I enjoy sports. I really like sports. So I can do, when I do jiu-jitsu, when I want to improve, I can get private trainings with my coach. I can spend on it. Nowadays, I like golf. I can go and play golf weekly. And each golf game is 100 over. Right? If I play twice a week, there's 200. Right? So I'm willing to spend on that. I like watches, so I'm willing to spend a little bit more on watches. But I don't really care about cars, so I drive a Ativa. I don't really care about shirt, so I'll just Uniqlo, Brands Outlet. It's good enough for me. I don't need LV bag. I just live my life. And when I liked instrument, at one point I was like, I wanted to start learning bass again. Then
learning bass?
So I used to play bass. Then I wanted to play more bass during the MCO time. Yeah. Then post MCO, when company was doing better, then I thought, I really wanted to play bass. So
your bass,
I got myself a Fender bass, which is a more expensive bass than a beginner bass, right?
What type of music you play in your bass?
Beginner jazz lah.
Next time come to jazz jam session. I go to jazz jam session.
But I can't play.
Can.
I can only listen. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, but my point is that, am I living a very frugal life? I would say that I am frugal in things that doesn't matter. I don't spend my money to meet expectations. I spend my money to make myself happy. Like, same thing. I think it's important that I pay my staff well. So therefore, paying my staff well and paying them fairly makes me feel proud of myself. So I don't need to draw such a high salary. I'm okay to sacrifice some profit to do that. So these are all part and parcel of, if you're talking about the philosophy of spending, am I very frugal? So I would say no. Nowadays, I have my coffee every day. I will go and get myself a cup of Zeus, or I'll make myself a cup of coffee. I'm willing to spend. When we go eat, I will order just like that. I won't think twice.
Hey, thanks for buying me dim sum the other day at Podfest.
So I won't, I won't think twice. If I eat all the kind of things, I won't think twice. So the point is, I think in life, you really need to know what makes you happy when you spend. Then you spend the money on those things. But if you don't have the money to spend, then don't even spend on things that you like. Yeah.
There you have it, financial advice from Mr. Money himself. So that's great financial advice. So last question before end. I know we take all your time. Last question before end. So right now you have a network. It's so exciting. You have your FAQ show. You have RVOK. We have the newsletter as well. So like, what is your vision in the future for this?
I think I've said it before. I think what we want to do is that we want to be able to create more content that help people to improve their lives. So the whole idea of what we do is that we believe that content has the power to transform lives. So we just want to create more and more brands that does the exact same thing and in different angle. I hope that one day when people look at this company, they will not just remember the name Mr. Money, but they'll remember it as a multiple brand, a content powerhouse that actually generates content that help to change lives. Yeah. So what makes me very proud is like, sometimes when I meet different people and they tell me, hey, because of that one video that you did last time, I started investing. And today I have certain amount of money.
Yeah, Elton also.
Yeah.
Elton.
so these are stuff that makes me feel proud of myself, Like I feel like that's what the company needs to stand for. Yeah.
Really helping people. And I can see, besides being a businessman, you really enjoy creating content that helps people and educates people. Like you said, making boring content exciting and fun. Right? So now you're making politics fun, making finance.
Make complicated stuff that is important fun.
Yeah. That's what we want to do with the podcast also. We want to talk about business and make it relatable to people. And thank you for the opportunity to come here. So this is, you can see this couch, right? This is where they shoot the RVOK podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me, man.
And we get to use, so our producer Elton get to use the lights. We're using the mic and everything for today's spot. So thank you so much for letting us
Thank you
here.
very much.
Thank you, Peter.